action. So my name is Shoma Obemiata. I am the founder and president of Advancement Through Athletics. We are a 501c3 nonprofit based here in Indianapolis, and we work with high school, middle school, and elementary school kids, preparing them for college and the college transition. And part of what we do is we have a sports element to what we do, a track and field element specifically. And through that club, I've met a lot of great people, and obviously some fantastic athletes. And with me is Dominic Calhoun, who is currently a high school senior at Brownsburg High School. I'm gonna let him kind of talk about how long he's been with ATA and his background and that, but I wanted to put this on document that that this happened. You know, some people just never get to experience the things that you've experienced. So I'm really curious to kind of hear your story and your perspective on things. I'd love to share with you some things I've thought about and things I haven't told you, some things I have, and just kind of have a living document that kind of exists out there for people to get to know you. All right?
Well, I met you summer of 22 at a meet in either Cincinnati or Louisville. One of the, I remember two things you said. You said something about you should be able to coast a 10-8. That's one thing I remember. And then you had talked about I could win, because we were standing by the rafters or whatever, and you said I could win Gatorade Player of the Year. Those are two things that I remember you said. I wouldn't say I kind of brushed it to the side, but I didn't join ATA at the time. And then February 23 or March, right before HSR last year, started working out with you, and then really joined over summer, and kind of took it from there.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember that. Mm-hmm. That conversation in Louisville. We were in line for medals. Yeah. And that line was lasting way too long. But I remember seeing you in Illinois. You know, I see the times, I see the results at the end, but then I see you run, and I'm like, there's certainly a lot more in there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what really led me to say something to you in the line anyway. Wasn't saying it to pry you away from the club. That's never really my goal, right? I'm not I don't pick talent like that. It's more I just like to speak life into people, because I know what that was like for me when I was in you guys' shoes. So tell us kind of how you got to this point.
It was always my sister that ran track. I just didn't want to do it. I was more basketball, football. And then middle school, 6th and 7th grade, I ran cross country. I wasn't even a sprinter. My first year sprinter was going to be 8th grade, but that was COVID year. So I don't know why I stopped cross country and wanted to switch, but I ended up switching 8th grade year. Got canceled. So freshman year, first year competing in sprints, and that was taking me where I am right now.
Wow. It seems like a long time to some, but actually it's really not. You know, there's stuff that you still don't know, and there's a lot of experiences that you may have had but haven't had a deep connection with, national meets and that kind of thing, and all that stuff really shapes somebody, especially how they perform. But you being so new, and then the success that you have puts you in a different stratosphere now. Until last year, you weren't the guy, and then you come into this season and you're the guy. This is your first season being the guy, and it's only been a couple months. You know, how's that been?
I wouldn't say it adds pressure, but I definitely feel different than last year, but not in a bad way. Like knowing that, like going into me, like knowing that I am like the guy or whatever. At first, beginning of the year, it kind of added a little bit of nerve, but like now, if I'm the guy, then I shouldn't change how I race based on anybody else. Like it should be the other way around.
Yeah. Where do you get that like mentality from?
Where? Which part? Like, what do you mean?
Everyone should adjust to me. Like where does that? That's mature actually.
I wouldn't say like I struggled thinking like that, but it didn't really switch to honestly like about 2-3 weeks ago. Really like coming back from Boston, like, and then coming back to Indiana, like I've seen faster than this before. Like, so I'm not saying I'm not like worried about them anymore, but like I've seen faster, run against faster, so like I shouldn't be like
worried.
Yeah, worried. Like when I come back to the state. So.
Yeah. Do you know that I do that stuff on purpose?
What?
So my goal with ATA is, we talk about the college transition. The research that supports transition, call it literature. The literature says those who experience the transition before they enter have an easier time making that transition to whatever it is. You're going to compete in college. You need to have as many experiences like you had in Boston that didn't go your way. So you know, when I come to this level, in Indiana track and field, there is a lot of talent here. But a national meet is a national meet for a reason, because the levels are higher now. You just need to know what it's like. If you can perform on that stage, great. But as long as there's a lesson to be learned and taken from it, that's why, that's the reason I think it's important to go to national meets. So you know, like, I'm at the Hoosier State Relay final, I can't be shaken now. Yeah. You know, I'm unshakable. I don't know if that is obvious to you guys or not, but this is always, it's a calculated reason for everything.
I mean, I get it now. Like I didn't see, we're in Boston 4, 5, 6 sixes.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's not like, I don't know, like I've seen faster. So I mean.
Yeah. All right, so March 25th, 2024, indoor season concluded on Saturday, March 23rd. Talk to me about your indoor season in totality from October, when we were out there on the grass and running with the weighted sleds and the weight vests and all that good stuff, to you know, being crowned Hoosier State champion in a meet record time as well. Talk me through and everything.
So dating back to October, when did we hit the track first? November? Like we were at Panthera for like October to? Probably
like late. I think we tested in October? 300s like the 20th or something like that. I can look at the sheet.
So first 2-3 weeks, we was coming here 2-3 times a week. We did pretty much just like hard weight training.
Boy, it's shaking. All right, good.
Like I said, we was outside though. Had the weight vest on, had like I said, blocks with the sleds, a lot of heavy stuff. Just kind of building that kind of, I don't want to say background, but like strength foundation for when we get back to the track. Then hit our first testing. It was 300 meters. I want to say it was 34. 35.
Yeah.
7? 35.3.
You ran 35.76 or something like that. You know.
7. So not where you need to be. We kind of. I remember I asked like where I need to be for like 20 point before you ran it. And I think you said comfortably 33 high.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
So that was the goal going into it. Obviously I didn't get it. Then we tested again in November.
I got that from Coach Diego, by the way.
The 200, like.
So I never told you this story. So I called Coach to check how the visit went. And I don't have a particularly strong relationship with Coach. We're not like that, but professionally.
Yeah.
So I called him and I asked him what you were like and how did you like it, that kind of thing. And then if I don't know something, I want to find out and figure it out. And I know, I pinned the tweet that 3 boys will run 20 point, and I still strongly believe that you'll be one of them. So I asked him, we're going to test 300s. What should we look for? And he's the one that told me 33, 6 to 8, but also depending on what your 60 times were looking like as well. But that conversation happened at like 10. Then I spoke to your dad. 2 hours later, you committed. And I told Coach, you're a loyal guy. And, I think everyone wants to be wanted, but you specifically will run through a brick wall for someone that cares and shows it. He wants to really do well by you, and he's excited to have you.
3 weeks until we tested again, or 4 weeks? I don't say had an advantage, but you texting me and Matt, we're testing 300s, be prepared, but don't tell anybody else, something like that. So I was preparing for it, and knowing that it had to be 33 high. I was preparing for it the day before. Don't even know how I was preparing. I didn't know how to run a 300. I just told myself to get out and then just kind of hold it. Weather was a little bit better the second time we tested, and I came in at 33.8.
33.7.
37. So cut off 2 seconds. When did we go to Fort Wayne? 2 weeks after?
The meet was December 3rd. So it would have been 3 weeks.
3 weeks after we had our first meet. A couple of us went. I was 696 in the prelim.
Well, going back though, so when you ran a 33.7, we did it a different way. So we did rabbit style. You're a gamer. You like a challenge. And I almost didn't believe it when I stopped the clock, because I was we need to run this. And I try not to have you or anyone think too much about, all right, this is the task we need to achieve. All right, this is what I need to do. Let me focus what I need to focus and get it done. Have you always had that? Where does that come from?
Naturally competing, but like you said, I wouldn't say I perform better, when I know it.
Yeah.
We've done it 2 or 3 times. We've had workouts, and I've asked what's the time to beat? And I feel that helps me perform better, because when I know what I got to get to get to my end goal.
Right.
So I feel that's I feel I do that because I know that's gonna help me get to where I need to be come June and in the future. So I feel when I got when I know the goal in front of me, I got the challenge, it definitely helps me perform better.
Yeah, Fort Wayne, I was annoyed that day.
Yeah.
Again, college transition, as we get ready for bigger stages, how do we show up in opportunities that present itself? I don't mind losing. I do mind losing when we're not maximizing our potential or our process for preparation. I'm emailing IU. We meant to go to IU and they bounced us out. UIndy was not accepting high schools, and I'm pretty sure it's because of us. If this is our last time getting to this meet, we have to have a good showing here. We just weren't in it. And the other thing too is we have a lot of seniors, unlike you, who don't know where they're going to school yet. So, you know, those opportunities are so few and far between. You're auditioning in front of these other coaches, you know, you got to bring your best. Biggest ways you've grown on and off the track this indoor season?
I was just like stuck at like 6'9", 3 to 6'9", 7 for about like December to February. I think I went 690 in Louisville, and then 6'8" after. But first 2 months I was kind of stuck at 6'9", trying to figure out what it was. And then I think about a week or two after Louisville, we had like one practice. We were doing wickets, and you like told me the cue of like switching at the top. I feel like that's kind of when it really clicked for me. It's still not perfect, but the intention that I should bring like in a race. That's probably one of the biggest things that clicked for me on the track, like progression wise, and then off the track, kind of handling myself, like how I carry myself in certain meets, certain situations, and being able to lead, not only through ATA, but when I take it back to school as well. I feel like I'm becoming a better leader. So yeah.
Turn me up, dog! Turn me up! Turn me up, dog!
If I'm hearing you correctly, you were stuck, you felt like you were stuck in a certain time frame in the 60, and breaking through that was your biggest.
Yeah.
And then mechanical changes you made to your sprint pattern, and then you growing as a leader, being, what does that, your leadership look like now versus before?
I think last year I was still kind of a leader, but I was, I wouldn't say forced into it, but I was more like leading by example than I was like actually trying to be a vocal leader. And I didn't really, I'm not complaining, but I didn't like ask to be a leader or anything. So last year was all new to me. People would come up to me, ask me for X, Y, Z. I didn't really know what to say. I feel like I learned that to better lead somebody, I got to know them first. Like I got to connect with them. So like before I even tried like leading Ibrahim, Isaiah, and Xavier, like I connected with them first. Like I talked to them more and more. Then it was easy to lead them because they trusted me, I trusted them.
Right.
And even with like some of the high schoolers, like I don't talk to the hurdlers as much as I talk to Matt because he's a long sprinter. But like connecting with them more and more, they trust me, I trust them. And like I said, taking it back to the school, just leading by example, but first connecting with them.
I want to talk about your mechanics because that's something you mentioned. As an athlete, it feels like, you know, you kind of go into a meet and I want to PR, cool. But what's different about how I go about executing what I do that will result in a different time, distance, performance, whatever? You know, we talked about kind of your top end. That was the best part of your race. That still is the best part of your race, but it had to improve if you're gonna make those bigger leaps. There wasn't a huge change in your pattern, and that's why your times were about the same. Went to Fort Wayne, you ran 7:0. Chicago in the final, we didn't optimize that one either. So when your mechanics were off, the times were bad. But when your mechanics were good, your times reflected that too. I know you paid attention to it, but it was something you were like aware of. Like if I run a cleaner race, I'll probably run a faster time.
I talked to you about this before. Like I was kind of struggling, like just committing to this doing, because I could do it in practice, but I just couldn't do it in race.
Oh, damn, I do remember that.
So, and I feel like the first time I like really attempted to put it together, say the second time we went to Indiana Tech, I think I was 693 that day, 694, but like I just committed to doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I wanted a faster time, but like I trusted the technique and it worked.
Right.
So I mean, that's when I really started trusting it more and more.
Yeah. Season concluded on Saturday at the fairgrounds. So your personal best now from the indoor season 21:48 indoor. Had you ever ran an indoor 2?
Not on the bank. I ran 2 flat before that.
What were your?
23:0 something. I never broke 23.
Okay.
Before getting on the bank.
So you ran 20. That was last year.
Yeah.
So you ran 23:0 on a flat.
Yeah.
23:04 on the flat. Just for the sake of conversation, do you remember like your fastest 4x2 split indoor last year? Yeah.
22. It was at HSR. I let it off with 22:14.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew fast times were coming, and then outdoor you just kept dropping consistently. Not every race, but you were dropping. So you ran 21:48. That race was not as clean. I think you really just wanted to beat those other guys. That's like, you know, you have this element of I just want it worse than you do. And on the scale of 1 to 10, I think execution-wise, I'd probably give you like an 8.2. I thought the start could have been better that race. I thought going up the hill, so like 120 or whatever, hips could have been taller, punching into the ground. Coming down the bank, you would kind of swing in and getting a little, I'll say sloppy. Like you didn't hold technique as best you could, and then you slow down into the finish. You know, overall, I knew you were gonna run a faster race. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it. After that, we saw 21:61 in the prelim in Boston, but you run 48:45 in the 4.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
I think about a day or two after I found out, I think I'd asked you like a time to beat or something like that, or like a race strategy or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time we went to Indiana Tech, I think you said come through at like 23 mid or something like that.
Yeah.
And then close with whatever I had. So I kind of asked you again.
We ran 50-50 that day, or 50-56, something like that.
52, I think 50-52.
50-52, yeah.
I said, I'll go 48 if that's what it takes to win. And then you said, okay, so go 22 high and whatever you had left. So I had that in my mind going into the meet. It's 30, 40 teams there. So there was 24 heats of the 4.
Wow.
Fast, rapid pace, no blocks or anything. So race finishes, you just go. Race finishes, you go. You just go.
No blocks.
Some last heat, yeah, no blocks. I'm last heat. Watching all these times, kind of just prepare myself. I was lane 4, produced 4-lane track on the outside. I'm outside lane. I had my friend Andreas inside lane. He went 48 flat outdoor. So I was expecting like, he's gonna be on me, so I gotta get out. I feel like that's what kind of carried me through the first lap, like going as fast as I did. I think on the video said I was like 22.6 through the first lap, and like 25.7 through the second. I was just trying to get to the pole first. So actually a week before, me and Noah did that 5.4.3.2. It's a rough workout. Very rough, very rough. But the 300 rep, I was gassed. It was 6 minutes after that 400, so I'm tired. My legs heavy. I remember like I would pump my arms like crazy, like I never had before, and that like really carried me through like through the fatigue. So I told myself I was gonna get out and then just try to do that, and then however fast that second lap is whatever it is. So I got out hard, got to the break first, 22.6. Yeah, I just kind of started pumping my arms, big breaths, pump my arms. Just kind of got me through the second lap. And like I said, Andreas, my friend, was inside of me, so I thought he was like right behind me the whole time. I didn't know there was 2 seconds in between us. So I'm still thinking somebody's right behind me, so I'm just going. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like the second lap is slower, but like I didn't feel myself like I'm tired, I can't, yeah. So I'm just trying to make it to the line. And then they had a little flash time up. I'm getting closer and closer. It said like 45, 46, 47. I thought it was like maybe a second off, so I thought I can get back and be like 49 something.
Right.
And then my coach came up to me, gave me a high five, and said, what was the time? Something like that. He said 48, 45. I didn't know that was the state record or anything. I don't know what led me to looking at it. I just went on my play after the meet. It was the number time in the state, like for this year. I don't know what led me to like look at all time. And then I saw the state record. And
you text me that I didn't know either, but I think it's the beauty of this, right? Because last year we had Josiah, and he ran 669. In my head, the state record was the HSR meet record, which was 676. So I was kind of in my head like, all right, what we got to do to do that? And then he ran that time, and I was like, well, that's fast. But then find out the state record was actually 670 by Shane Crawford. So I think it's so much better when we kind of like have this blissful ignorance to it, right? Like, because ultimately, you're gonna do something no one's ever done if you're going to break that record. Yeah. So what is the use of kind of infatuating ourselves with this number? When you found out and you realized it, like, what was your immediate thought?
And I remember going to my group chat, I'm like, bro, I hope next year Coach Diego don't make me a 2-4 guy. that was one of the first things it's like when I told somebody about it.
But why? What's that concern of yours?
It's the 2-4, man. Them long sprint workouts be no joke. So that was kind of one of the first things I said, like, hopefully I'm not no 2-4 guy next year. But I come back a week later and then I go split 48 flat again. So I mean, running the 4 is not bad. It's just sometimes getting to where you need to, if you want to run fast, getting there is the hard part for the 4.
Yeah.
But I checked for the 4. Don't remember why. Then I checked for the 2 as well, and I found out that the 2 is the state record as well.
Oh, the 21:48 is the. Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprise.
All right, so hypothetical question for you. Now that the indoor is over, the next indoor 2-year run will be in college. What could you have run if you got another opportunity in the
this year?
indoor 2? Yeah.
I think if I make the final at New Balance, I run 21:09 or faster. I think I break 21:1 if I make the final at New Balance. I would think so. That's how I feel.
I honestly, I think you could have run faster than that, honestly. And it seems hard to wrap the mind around. I also didn't foresee you running 48, 45 without any blocks, right? I really wasn't expecting that. But maybe I should have, based on the workouts, you know, I don't know. But last but not least, so you run a 60-meter PR in the prelim at Hoosier State Relays, 680. Walk us through that race.
Week building up to HSR, we just made a tiny switch on my blocks because like my heel would just be floating. Like there'd be so much space in between the block, and like you obviously got to push off the blocks. So like my first move would be kind of like back, trying to push off the blocks. So we made like a tiny tweak to the angle to move first, but definitely minimized.
Which coach made that a suggestion or adjustment?
One of the assistant coaches had suggested it before the final in Wabash. We didn't change it before the last chance qualifier last weekend, but we started working on it this week. So it was one of the assistant coaches' ideas, and then Coach Hicks and Coach Pop made sure like that was the focal point for me this week. Scrolling through Instagram, something like that, and it was like three Bible verses like athletes can use before a meet, or not a meet, before competition. And the one that stuck out to me was like, I don't remember the verse, but the explanation was like, the outcome isn't predetermined. So like, don't go into meet, don't go into competition, like down yourself or anything. And going into HSR, I'd won maybe 2 60 races. I was getting second place most of the year. So it could have been easy for me to just, all right, I'm gonna get second, but hopefully I PR.
Right.
But like, and then I saw that video, it like kind of soaked me through the day. Like the outcome isn't predetermined, so like, why can't I win it, you know?
Right.
Prelim, it was a guy from HSC in lane 3 and a guy from Mid-Davis in lane 5. I think his name is Sam, dude from Mid-Davis. He got out pretty good. I'm looking down, I still see him next to me. I just told myself, you know, be patient. And I don't even remember like, when I told myself to stand up, but I kind of just stood up like, I felt like it was the right time though.
Yep.
That's probably the first race at the end of the season, like, mind's clear, like just go run. The race felt pretty good, it was patient, but like I was still aggressive. I looked at the time and said 680. I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, the final, you know, you got, and shout out to Jaden as well. He's someone that has pushed you this season, and he's a great young man, a great sprinter in his own right. And is it fair to say you were were you racing to beat him, or were you racing to win for yourself?
I was racing to win. Obviously, I'd raced him 4 or 5 times before that. That was my first win against him, HSR final. But I don't think that was like an added incentive to winning. I was just trying to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it felt good, so we just, all right, go compete. I'm feeling, actually, like going into the meet, I wouldn't say I was feeling bad, but like I was feeling kind of sluggish, like my body was kind of heavy. But like even going to the final, my legs were still a little bit heavy. And then like we had talked about, I can sacrifice a little bit of, was it sacrifice power? I don't know what the sacrifice was, but like just to like cover more ground. Something like, we talked about something.
Your turnover, we talked about, because you have a tendency to like get your feet down quickly versus actually spending more time pushing and setting the race up. So yeah, that's,
I was telling myself, like, if I'm within a shot or two, like coming out first 10, 15 meters, and I felt pretty confident, and I was. Normally, I'm used to, I don't say I'm used to, but like this season it's been a lot of, all right, I get out pretty bad and I got to just go catch everybody. But this time, like I was in contention, and if I'm in contention from the first 15, 20 meters, then I feel pretty confident in my chances. And then the other thing we had talked about was like running through the line instead of like leaning, because sometimes I like mistime my lean or things like that. I think I maybe leaned a little bit, but like I definitely tried to run through the line. It felt good during the race. Like the overall race felt pretty good. I kind of felt that I got him, but the time didn't show up for about maybe 20, 30 seconds.
It was a long time.
It was waiting. So everybody else was walking down. I'm still standing up there. And then I see in the time. I see my name at first. And then I kind of just, it was a long season. Kind of just let it all out. I was happy. I was proud. It's a 674 meet record. And yeah, that was the final.
Wow. Yeah, I had obviously a different angle from you that was running it. The prelim, I saw the same thing. I saw a little caution in the start. Sam got out a little bit, but he didn't like blow the doors off the race. But you were still there, maybe like 15 or 20, you got into your rhythm. By 40, it was comfortable, and by 50, it was over, right? You maintain, and then in the final, that was the only thing I was telling him. I was with Coach Pop, like on the side, because we were watching the long jump. You were in 5, and Jaden was in 4. So I'm like, as long as I can see the two of you in the first 15, 20 meters, then I'll know that you do the same thing at top end that you did in the prelim, we're fine. Then it was just a question of the time. And when you guys, and Jaden got a good start. He ran the PR as well. He ran a great race. And again, shout outs to Jaden, because no one does great things alone. But when you guys were there together, I was like, I just knew My mind actually went, if I being completely honest, my mind went to what would your race look like in 100? If that exact same pattern, if that exact same start, and it was a 100 instead of a 60, I think that time would have been scary. I saw you run through the line. You didn't lean. I think Jaden leaned. You ran through. I was waiting for the time now. And then it says 674. A quick story. This is for everyone watching. So the week of Boston, Dom and I worked out together, just kind of preparing things. And I like to record the reps so, I can review technique with the athlete. I'm about to start recording and I realize my stopwatch isn't working. So I run down to your bag without your consent, I'm sorry. I grab your phone because I was gonna record with your phone and record the time with your phone and then record the actual video with mine. I open up the stopwatch app or function on the phone and there's a time on it already. So I didn't want to touch it, but then I saw the time. I was like, that means something. Yeah. But I didn't know if you specifically did that on purpose. I flip it. I record the video on your phone. So then I'm gonna ask Dom to send this to me later, and I record the time on mine. We review that rep, and then we spoke about what was on your song. I was like, "Is this on purpose?" I can't remember this. Did I tell you not to clear it, or did I tell you to screenshot it? I remember
you told me. Yeah. You just said you didn't want to mess with it, and you just gave it back to me. Okay. You said you got a special time on there. I don't want to mess with it.
Yes. We see what you did at HSR and break-in Isaac from Avon. I want to mispronounce his last name. Isaac G. Shout out to him, and I hope NFL draft goes very well for you. Break the meet record there. And I get a text from you later that night.
Like midnight.
And it's a screenshot of the time. You have it still in the stopwatch. Can you show everyone what that time was?
Which camera?
Maybe all three.
This is from March 5th, 2024. 674. It was, I don't remember recording that. Me and Coach showed messages, 674. I don't remember when I made that, why I did it. I wasn't hand-humping my racer or anything, but it was 674. And then come Saturday, 674 meet record.
Wow. I don't know what that is. It's divine timing for sure. And I'm glad it happened for you. Somewhere in our subconscious, that time was meant for you. And we manifested it through hard work and diligence. Like you said, it's not been an easy journey. You've had to change things how you normally know them and take a risk. And it all paid off. Looking back on it now, how would you grade it?
In what aspect?
Everything. From what you put in to what the results ultimately end up being.
I don't think I have a letter grade for it. Overall, I'm proud of myself. I wouldn't say A+. If it's A+, that's 100%, I'd say overall, the intent and the work ethic was always there from October to March, or December to March. But I don't think I have a letter grade for it.
Maybe that's what you said is perfect, Well, got outdoor season starting here very soon, and wishing you all the best. It's been a pleasure working with you and coaching you on the club level, and I'm obviously a big fan and supporter of you. Love to support you however I can. I don't know if you have anything else to add or anything.
I'm good.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Perfect.